In the late 1500s, England was dreaming of empire. Spain ruled the seas, gold flowed from the Americas into Spanish coffers. Queen Elizabethan knew that if England wanted power, it needed colonies footholds in the new world that could grow, trade, and challenge Spanish dominance. That ambition led to one of the greatest mysteries in history. It happened on a small island off the coast of what is now North Carolina, a place the English called Roanoke Island. In 1587, over 100 men, women, and children arrived there to build England's first permanent colony in America. This was not a military outpost. This was meant to be a home. Families came, craftsmen came, farmers came. Even a baby was born, the first English child born in the New World. Her name was Virginia Dare. For a brief moment, hope felt real. The colonists built houses, repaired old structures from earlier failed attempts, and tried to survive in a land that was unfamiliar, unpredictable, and already inhabited by Native American tribes with their own alliances and rivalries. From the beginning, things were fragile. Food was scarce. Relations with local tribes were tense. Supplies from England were limited. The colony depended entirely on support from across the Atlantic, support that was never guaranteed. The leader of the colony was John White, an artist and explorer appointed governor. He quickly realized the settlers were in trouble. They needed supplies. They needed reinforcements. They needed help fast, so White made a painful decision. He left his daughter, his granddaughter Virginia Dare, and the rest of the colonists behind and sailed back to England to gather supplies. He promised to return as soon as possible. He had no idea it would take 3 years. England was suddenly consumed by war. The threat of the Spanish Armada forced all ships to be seized for defense. White begged for passage. He waited. He pleaded. Time passed. Across the ocean, the colony waited too. When John White finally returned to Roanoke in 1590, the island was silent. No smoke, no voices, no movement. The settlement was still there, but the people were gone. Houses had been carefully dismantled, not destroyed. There were no signs of a battle, no bodies, no graves. No weapons scattered on the ground. It looked as if the colonists had packed up and left deliberately. White searched desperately for clues, then he found it. Carved into a wooden post was a single word, Croatoan. On a nearby tree, the same word appeared again, carved deeply into the bark. There was no cross carved anywhere. That detail mattered. Before leaving, White had agreed with the colonists on a simple system. If they were forced to leave the colony due to danger, they would carve a Maltese cross as a warning sign. The absence of the cross suggested they had not fled in panic, they had gone somewhere on purpose. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and the Native American tribe that lived there. The Croatoan people had been relatively friendly with the English. They traded, they communicated, they knew the land. White believed this was the answer. The colonists had likely moved there to survive, but fate intervened again. As White prepared to sail to Croatoan Island, violent storms battered his ship. Supplies were low. The crew refused to continue. Against his will, White was forced to abandon the search and return to England. He would never see Roanoke again. And the colonists were never found. What happened to the lost colony? That question has haunted historians for more than 400 years. One theory suggests assimilation. The colonists may have joined the Croatoan tribe, intermarrying, learning survival skills, and blending into native society. Some later accounts describe Native Americans with gray eyes or English features. Words resembling English were reported among certain tribes. This theory suggests the colonists survived but lost their identity. Another theory suggests violence, relations between settlers and tribes were unstable. Food shortages could have led to conflict. The colonists may have been attacked by hostile groups or caught in intertribal warfare. But if that happened, why was there no evidence? No burned buildings, no scattered remains. Then there is starvation. Roanoke was isolated, crops failed. Hunting was unfamiliar. Disease was a constant threat. The colonists may have tried to relocate in stages, breaking up into smaller groups, each one more vulnerable than the last. Some believe the Spanish were involved. Spain knew about Roanoke. Spanish forces operated in the region. A secret attack could explain the disappearance, but again, there is no solid evidence. Spanish records are silent. What makes Roanoke so unsettling is not just the mystery, but the silence. No survivor ever told the story. No clear archaeological proof has solved it. No written record explains their fate. The lost colony did not end in screams or fire. It ended in absence. An entire community, men, women, children, simply stepped out of history, leaving behind one word carved into wood like a whisper across centuries. Croatoan. Today, Roanoke stands as a warning and a symbol. A warning about the fragility of early colonization, about how survival depended on cooperation, preparation, and respect for the land, and a symbol of how history does not always give answers, only questions. The lost colony reminds us that not all stories end with ruins or bones. Some end with uncertainty, with a pause, with a word carved into a tree and nothing else. Somewhere, the descendants of Roanoke may have lived ordinary lives, loved, struggled, and died never knowing they would become one of history's greatest mysteries. And that may be the most haunting part of all. They did not vanish in legend, they vanished in real life. And we are still listening for their footsteps echoing through the forest just beyond reach.